What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Overwatch Coach VOD review. So, a little introduction to this one. I actually had a Brigitte VOD review set for the end of this week, and I ended up deleting it for this one. And the reason I did that was I wasn't too happy with that VOD review I had done because it was a lopsided game, but I was really hunting for a Brigitte VOD review to do. And I just took anything I could find, and the game was not a good example of VOD reviewing anything. And I ended up taking a nap today, and I woke up late. As you can see, it's 3 in the morning, and it's the middle of the week, and I'm awake because, yeah, you got to watch out for those naps once in a while. And I didn't want to get into any games or anything, and I went into Overwatch University, and lo and behold, there is a Diamond Brigitte VOD review request sitting there waiting for me. So I did something a little different this go around that I don't normally do, and that is I watched it beforehand because I was like, okay, I've got this Brigitte VOD review sitting out there, and it hasn't come out yet. It's set to premiere, and in the back of my mind, I wasn't super happy with it. So I watched this one, and I'm like, it's better. It's better. It's still not the greatest VOD review, but it's better. So I have skimmed through this one ahead of time, which is not usually something I do. So that's my full disclosure on this one. But with that being said, I think this VOD review here I think I kind of agree with what the person playing this Udar said. So I want to get into what he wrote or I should say what they wrote for their introduction. And let's get into the VOD review. Oh, I got to get my pen up. I forgot to open the pen. Okay. Pen is working. Sometimes it doesn't work. All right. Where is their here it is. Okay. Let's get into the introduction. So this is a Diamond 5 Brigitte. Wondering if anyone out there would like to review my Brig game. Diamond 5 at the time, climbed up to 4 and been stuck there this season. Masters 5 last season. I feel like Brig is a bit underrated and misunderstood since Overwatch 2 came out, and would like to see what people take of my gameplay. I would like to see what people's take of my gameplay was on here. There was a time or two being a little too aggressive, but genuinely speaking, I think this is a game that showcases Brig's strengths and could be an educational opportunity to show what Brig can do. With that being said, I understand that other heroes would have probably given equal, if not more, to the team. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so with that, let's delve into team comp here. So this is our Brig player, and this is an extremely heavy dive team. So normally what I advocate for a team like this, in terms of like alternate heroes to play, Zen could be good. That's a bad Z. Let's start over. There we go. That's a good Z. Zen would be good just for the distance healing, but Brig has distance healing with armor packs. If you use them correctly, I think the armor packs could potentially be enough, especially if you're good at landing whip shots. The problem is I have it stopped at this time for a reason. I told you guys I scouted this one a little early. There's a voice line interaction I had never heard before this VOD review, and I want you guys to hear it. But this player right here is going to be I almost did RH, but that could be confused for Reinhardt, so I had to spell it out. Here. Roadhog. That's going to be a Roadhog. So you usually don't want to play distance into Brig, but Roadhog is going to be susceptible to whip shots if you can get them off in ways that you're not getting hooked. That's the key to that. If you can land whip shots without getting hooked, Roadhog negates some of this distance, in my opinion. However, as our coaching requester stated, they do suggest that they could have maybe gotten equal or even more value on other heroes. So it's an interesting little dynamic here. But yeah, in terms of team comp for Team 2, I'd say Zen would have been maybe a little bit better of a pick, assuming that the team can get picks without taking too much damage for a Zen Kiriko. Otherwise, Ana would be another good one. Ana for the Nano Blade. So I'd say Zen or Ana would be ideal picks here. So let's get into the VOD review, and I'm going to press play so you guys can hear this voice line interaction, because like I said, I've never heard this one before, and then we'll get into the actual game.
Hammond, did you eat Ganymede's bird feed again?
He asks whether it's still called bird feed if a hamster eats it.
That's a shame. I'll be giving these cookies I made to teammates who deserve them.
Translation failure.
5,
Profanity database
4,
error.
3, 1.
I don't know. It's a cute interaction. All right, so let's see what we get here.
I am restored. Precision is the way of the effective warrior.
So right here, the thing that I like, let me get back to the spot. So the Tracer gets too deep and you can't even get an armor pack to her. So right now, you're taking space, but you're also keeping everybody in your line of sight for the most part. This I like. Your Hammond is already moved in, but he doesn't need a hard pocket, and that's why you can get away with playing Zen with Hammond a lot, because he just doesn't take a ton of healing. He needs a ton of healing when he's hurt, but like if he's moving around and he's being hard to hit and he's engaging a little bit, he doesn't need that pocket that some other tanks tend to need. So I like that you're not like freaking out about him going in, and the majority of your team you're keeping in range of armor pack.
Looking better already.
Yeah, so in the he stated that probably a little too aggressive. This is getting a little too aggressive because you're just constantly whipping away at him. Right now he's letting you. Now you've got his attention. And look at that. One shot from Roadhog, you go from 200 to 40, and now you're in trouble. So you gotta kind of keep your distance a little bit. I mean, you're like point blank, on the Roadhog at this point. So back up. Good kill on the Zen. Good kill on the Zen. Oh, and you get Genji. Nice. Yeah, just get out, cap the point. You got it.
Objective A captured. Escort the payload.
That Tracer is going to be an issue for healing because they're constantly out of line of sight. Okay, good whip shot. You bumped him back. He's not going to pressure you. Get your Genji. Good. Okay, another whip shot. So I like the choice of armor pack here. Oh, I didn't go back far enough. So, all right. So you've got two targets here. Target 1 is Kiriko, and target 2 is Hammond. Normally, I would suggest sending the armor pack to the squishy hero, but one, that squishy hero is a healer who will self-heal themselves over a period of time, and 2, they're not taking any damage, there's no incoming fire. So in this case, heal your tank so that they can engage and be aggressive, and Kiriko can just heal themselves with their passive, which is what you do, but I just wanted to take this as a learning, you know, just something to show people.
Let me help you with that.
Okay, good use of shield, block hook.
Helping you recover.
Keeping everybody topped off as best as you can. See, this is where like a Zen or an Ana might become a little bit more advantageous because a Discord orb might be able to go out. A healing orb might be able to stay on some of these guys to allow them to be a little bit more aggressive because they have to come back to you to get that armor pack. I mean, granted, they'd have to kind of come back to you for the Zen orb, or even if you were Ana, they'd have to kind of come back to line of sight to some degree. But like a Zen orb might allow them to be a little bit more on the aggressive side, staying away from line of sight quite as often. And then on top of that, you've got like a Discord orb, and then like right here, everybody's like way far back. So like a Zen could be shooting from a distance, whereas Brigitte can't do much here. Maybe get a whip shot off. And that's like best case scenario. So that's kind of the breaking point of where like Brig is giving value, but you might have been able to get a little bit more. So I kind of agree with the assessment of our player here. Okay, so you might want to look at backing up here. So the Roadhog's looking to move up. You've got the whip shot coming out. If you don't get hooked, you might buy enough space to get out. Nope, he got you. So yeah, you got to look out for those hooks. And that's what I was saying earlier. If you can land whip shots on a Roadhog and not get hooked, it can work. But if you're playing Brig into range, you're going to get punished. All right, so we're initiating right now with Rally. It looks where is Kiriko? Okay, so the only one not there right now is Kiriko. I kind of get it because your team's looking to engage here. And they're going to be in trouble if they don't get some extra support coming their way, and Kiriko's just simply not here. So in a way, I get this. It's unfortunate, though, that you're put in a place where you have to ult when your entire team isn't there. But yeah, so I don't know if this forces out the Roadhog ult or if Roadhog's just ulting into this. But the armor is going to definitely help against this because he's pretty close. That was risky. So yeah, I mean, the armor definitely helped for the supports there, because I feel like the Tracer probably would have died off of that Roadhog ult. So that I think you definitely got value out of it. You probably could have gotten a little bit more value out of it if the Kiriko were there with you guys, but it is what it is. Missed whip shot. So here's another example, probably a little too aggressive on the Roadhog. You got, I don't mind the smacking away at him for a bit, but once he gets back this far, and then on top of that, you've got a Genji right in your face too. That's probably the point where you want to back up a bit. And then on top of that, he's got an Ana right with him too. So I'm betting you're going to die. Oh, wait. Yep, okay. I thought for a second maybe your team might be able to bail you out there, but Yeah, so that would be an example of being a little too aggressive. That's a little bit of a front line at that point. My guess is you probably felt invincible because you had full armor going into that. Yeah, get out here. There's nothing you can save here. Let me finish my thought. My throat got a little dry. But my guess is you probably felt a little invincible because you were up to 300 HP with a bunch of armor on your kit. And this goes into Brig from Overwatch 1 to Brig in Overwatch 2. That armor doesn't go as far anymore. It just doesn't. And these shields melt quicker now. So Brig in Overwatch 1, especially before all the nerfs, you would have been able to kind of punish that Roadhog a little bit more by yourself. Brig is not a tank anymore, like she had been at periods of time in Overwatch 1. So, yeah, you gotta, even when you've got that extra over health that they call it, you still gotta kind of respect the space of enemy teams. So once they surpassed that arcway and started falling back, throw your shield up, fall back, potentially land a whip shot depending on Hook's situation, and just get out and be around and last in your team fight. The longer Brig has the same principles as a Lucio to some extent, and that's exist and value will be provided. Technically you could say that with a lot of supports, but Brig, I kind of lump Brig into the Lucio category in that case. Like, as long as your Inspire is coming out, armor packs are going out, and you're landing a whip shot here and there or a shield bash here and there, it's not really up to you to be the one getting the elimination, setting the tone for the push, frontlining, that sort of a thing. So yeah, get out there, because that was a little bit of an overextend, but or lucky for you that they didn't punish that one. So you're he doesn't know you're there. Okay, well, you got a few smacks off. Okay, good whip shot. Alright, good peel for your Kiriko, and this... Nice, that's a good elim. Okay, yeah, you can punish him right now. He doesn't have Hook. He's gonna have it about now, though, so yep. Alright, good job. You backed out right around the time he's gonna have Hook. He doesn't have it again. You can pressure him. Oh, this poor Roadhog. Jesus. Wow, that hog was tenderized. So yeah, at this point, just bodyguard the cart, push it along. Okay, you hear them about to contest. You armor up for the fight. Yeah, so same principle here. You're getting too comfortable with this Roadhog, and it's almost the same principle here too. Actually, it is the same principle. You're feeling invincible when you've got your extra armor. And I would say, genuinely speaking, overall, you're getting the better interactions against the Roadhog, and you're getting too comfortable with him. And because of that, he's made you pay for it twice. This being the second time. So this is a good learning opportunity for people. When you've got the armor, you're not invincible like you used to be with Brig now. You're just not. You're tankier, but you're not the tank you used to be in Overwatch 1, where you could just go solo half the team by yourself with all this extra armor and just, make use of it. It's not that kind of Brig anymore. So yeah, that one you got punished on. And unfortunately, it's kind of screwing up the value of your ult, but your DPS died too, so... Ooh, your Hammond is... This is a good Hammond player, and I'm usually pretty critical of people that would play Hammond. Not to say you can't, because there are a few good Hammonds out there that can really get the value out of them. Good, kind of risky whip shot, but this goes to what I was just saying, where it's like you're getting the better interactions against Roadhog for the most part. That's an example of an interaction with Roadhog where you kind of get that distance whip shot, you boop him back, you retreat, and that's just the end of it. That's the interaction. You didn't get hooked, you got your whip shot off, your Inspire goes to your team. That's an interaction that Brigitte, that's a win in Brigitte's book right there. So that's what I mean by you're winning your interactions with the Roadhog more often than not. But for Roadhog to win this interaction, he hooks and kills, or he, kills the Brig. So it's a little bit more difficult for the Roadhog, but it's totally doable if in certain circumstances, like if Brig's shield dies and then gets hooked in and pulled. But yeah, so you just got another whip shot, you bounced him back, and he's got to retreat. So it's another win interaction. Close, but I don't think he was trying to hook you there, so it's not... Yep, missed that one. You shield bash him. You eat up some of his ult, you fly backwards, and you get out. Pushing the cart. Top off the Hammond. Keep your Pharah going. Whip shot the Annabelle. Yeah, good. Alright, so let's look at team comp here. Did anything really change? So you have a soldier now? That's it. That's actually a good thing for you for a couple of reasons. One, it'll give you extra healing from the soldier, and two, your tracer was oftentimes out of line of sight. I think that they were also the Pharah. I guess I wasn't really paying close attention to who was playing what, but I'm thinking that that was also the Pharah toward the end of the last point. So yeah, that... you can Brig with Pharah as long as the armor packs are kind of going in their direction. But again, like if you do have a Pharah on your team, is that the best way to support a Pharah? No, it's not. Can you support a Pharah doing it that way? Yeah, probably. But is it the best? No. But with Soldier, I think I like this team synergy a little bit more. It's still very divey, which on defense will be interesting. Not saying it can't work, it absolutely can, but it really does require a lot more of a coordinated effort, and you don't often see that in competitive play unless there's a group going on. I don't know if any of these guys are grouped. Perhaps they are. I could totally see the Hammond and the Genji grouped. I don't know about the Kiriko or not, but I could like these two feel like they might have a synergy together. But I don't know. It's hard to say just from watching through a VOD. In terms of what you're up against though, so the Roadhog is now Orisa. So in terms of how I look at Brigitte, I think you can pull Brigitte off against tanks that don't have shield. Orisa falls into that category, but Orisa's a little bit more unique because she's got long range, and you don't normally want to play Brig into long range. So it's kind of the same situation again, where can you win your interactions against an Orisa without getting punished for it? Can you land a whip shot, get the Inspire up, and not die? Not die. It's the same kind of thing, but Now you're going to be punished beforehand and in a different way. But the one thing that really worries me here is the Bastion. Bastion, I feel like, is going to be a problem for you guys unless this Genji turns into a problem for him. And that's not normally how you would want to attack Bastion. When I play, I usually like to throw Sigma at Bastion to eat his turret mode. And in terms of DPS that I like to play, I mean, Pharah can be good if you can kind of keep your distance from him. But one hero that I don't think a lot of people talk about when trying to counter a Bastion is Torbjorn. Bastion's still very easy to hit. Obviously, you can attack him in different ways, but I feel like Torbjorn's a little bit of an underrated hero select when Bastion becomes a problem. Otherwise, ranged heroes, if you can win a ranged interaction and he's not being shielded by a tank, when it's Orisa, that opens things up to range as long as she's not causing too much of an issue getting into the face of your DPS. But if she is doing that, Brig can provide an interesting bit of value because she can start throwing her shield up in front of them and getting brawly. Like if it turns into a kind of like a defensive brawl, Brig could potentially be good for that. So let's see how this second round plays out here.
Helping you recover.
So I'd like to see your Genji playing up a lot further. It's rough because you have a Hammond, so there's no real, like front line to soak up a bunch of damage. But I'd like to see seeing the Genji kind of playing around with the Hammond. I feel like that synergy I thought I saw in round one, maybe it's not there now. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. So the Orisa's gonna start pushing, getting in like your soldier's face and whatnot. So let's see how this. So I would say Orisa's winning this interaction right now because you just ate the javelin. But that could still be a good thing though. Like if the javelin's hitting you, but you're not dying from it, and it's keeping the soldier going because now that's one less kind of like stun type ability not going at him, and the Orisa shouldn't be able to pick you off unless the Genji comes in to finish you. If that's what happens, then this is an okay interaction. It's not great, but it's okay. But if this Genji comes in and starts trying to pick at you, then you're probably going to die, and it's not. And then at that point, the Orisa won the interaction. All right, so yeah, the Genji didn't move in on that. So yeah, I guess I would grade that as an okay interaction. It wasn't great, but it worked out. Okay, good. That one you ate with the shield. So when you can eat abilities with Brig shield and then get out, because you can't tank with her shield. You just can't do it. But what you can do is eat abilities. Orisa Javelin, Sigma Rock. That stuff like that, that's not going to soak up 100% of the damage of the shield, but it's one less thing your teammates are going to be taking because your shield ate it. And then on top of that, you're playing a corner here. So you ate the javelin and now you can kind of get out, and now you're no longer taking damage, and it's one less thing coming in at your team. This is good positioning, in my opinion, just as long as they don't keep pushing you back. Like they're kind of playing at a medium pace, which is benefiting your play with the Brigitte. Like if the Genji were moving in with the Orisa and you ate that javelin, but they just kept coming in on you, you would be dead here though. But because they're not doing that, you can kind of get away with this. I'm a little surprised they don't do that, though, but you do have your team behind you, so I guess there's just enough damage coming in. So, yeah, you did the same thing again. You ate another javelin. That's good. Yeah, so I think after you ate that second javelin, falling back would have probably been the more advantageous thing to do there. It's a little. The problem is it's the Hammond not really being with you guys, and then you're kind of stuck playing forward a little bit, and it's the same situation too before where like you're making Brig work and you are getting value out of her, but like, could you have been doing more on a different support? Probably, right? Like if you were playing, like let's just say you were playing like Moira and you were playing with your team, like your DPS and the Kiriko would have gotten more heals probably. Or like if you were playing Zen, the Discord orbs and the healing, or that kind of thing. But so that time you ate the javelin. I don't think you were expecting one that from downtown basically there, but so it's a good opportunity to showcase why you should keep your shield up. Maybe not necessarily at all times, but more than maybe you have been doing to this point in the game, keeping your shield up maybe a little bit more. Okay, so yeah, Moira can. Okay, yeah, get out of there. Okay, I like the rally because you guys are basically in full commit mode. You wanted to punish the Moira, but she got out. Bastion tried to peel for her a bit, so that you kind of ate the turret mode a little bit and then got out. Popped rally, kept your team being aggressive. Ooh, that was... Genji, what are you doing? So Genji's full health. He pops Blade at 60%. And then he just melts immediately. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. Boy, that was a lot of ult commitment. And I'm not even necessarily stating that off of the Brig play. That was just a lot of ults. That was everything. Wait. Now soldiers ulting? So, all right, I don't know why I got distracted by the soldier ulting. So let's go back to you here. So your team is essentially dead, and for some reason your soldier is ulting, but you're essentially frontlining at this point because everybody around you died and you haven't yet. So, I'm okay with smacking the Orisa because one, you need the Inspire for healing if you're going to try to get out. It's either that or die on cart, but it's at this point taking too long. So you shield bash to get out, try to make some space. Unfortunately, the Genji's coming with you here. Okay, you get out of line of sight. Kiriko's with you now. You can smack away. Alright, so yeah, your shield was low, so I get why you kind of dropped it, because you don't want it to completely die. Fortunately, it caused you to eat a javelin, is what it is. But with Kiriko with you, I think you're going to be okay now, and Genji's with you now. Yeah, alright, so... Alright, in a case like this, good job getting out. Normally, what I would suggest to people in that situation would be to just fight on point, contest it for as long as possible until you're dead. If you think you can get out in a situation like what just happened to this Brig player, I'm alright with it, but I don't think the majority of the time you're going to get out like this Brig player, and at that point, we start getting into stagger conversations, like, did you just stagger yourself? In this case, this was best case scenario for this Brig player. They were able to get out, and their team was able to respawn and come back to them. So it worked out. But does this work out like this a lot? Probably not. So, all right. The thing I don't like here is, so okay, you see your Hammond going in, and you're playing at a fairly good position. I'd probably just say play kind of like right here, kind of like lined up to the back of the car to a straight line. That's range for whip shots, good range for armor packs to the Hammond, inspire to the people, to everybody but Soldier because he's dead. But don't engage this because Soldier's dead. Outside of like Hammond engaging and you guys poking, I suppose, but and just general staggering of the cart with Hammond, but you go in on this. So like this is fine. This interaction here I actually don't mind because it kind of keeps the Genji honest. But don't go deeper in on this. And you go deeper in on it, and then on top of that, now the Genji's nano blading, and this goes back to better value on another support again. Your team can't do much about nano blade, whereas if you were Zen, if you were Lucio, you could counter nano blade to some extent. You know what I mean? But all you guys can do right now is eat it. And then you're frontlining an Orisa. I get the Hammond's kind of in the general area, but it's over aggression. As soon as you bounce the Genji back, it would have just been a good opportunity to just back up and not engage further. Okay, I think you ate another javelin there, which is good. Yeah, so in a case like this, like Bastion's going to melt you. But you had to get out of the room to not die to the Orisa ult, but yeah, it just is what it is.
Okay, I'm ready to go again. We're outnumbered. Careful.
So yeah, I mean, you kept the Hammond going a little bit longer to eat up a little bit of time. There wasn't a whole lot you were going to really, in all honesty, be able to do in that situation. Good job not popping your ult. I think you're recognizing that the Bastion's a little bit of a problem here because you were going for him just to see if you could get a pick. I'm okay with this ult. You guys are going in as a team. You guys do need to kind of get some momentum back on your side. So I'm totally okay with this as an ultimate. Just don't feel, oh, they have Winston now. Okay. This is an interesting interaction. So I do like Brig against Winston. One thing I notice, and this is just, I'm talking more on personal experience here, but one thing I notice is when the enemy team is going Winston and they engage to, let's say, like the middle of the fight, maybe the Winston's just frontlining but he's not diving, or maybe he does dive and he drops his dome shield down. I notice a lot of people will expect healing inside of the dome, and there aren't a lot of healers that can heal you when you're inside of the dome if the healers on your team aren't already in it. So like Moira's a popular one these days to some extent. She can't heal you unless she's throwing a healing orb into the dome. Anna, same thing, can't heal you if you're inside of it. Zen can, but Zen doesn't give off a ton of healing. But Bap can't heal you if you're inside of it. Kiriko can't heal you if you're inside of it, but Brig can. She can throw an armor pack inside of the dome. I'm not actually 100% sure if the Inspire goes through the shield. I'm pretty sure it does, but I'm not 100% sure if it does, but I feel like it does. Somebody can confirm that for me. That would be appreciated, but I'm fairly certain Lucio's music and Brig's Inspire goes through a shield, but yeah, I'll have to try to look that one up. So Brig produces an interesting interaction though with Winston because she can get brawly with the Winston. Winston can't punish her like a Roadhog or an Orisa can. Orisa might need a teeny bit of help against the Brig, but they can punish Brig. Winston, not as much. I mean, he will win the interaction if it's a one-on-one, but in a team fight scenario, having a Brig and your team is there with you, that changes that dynamic. It can change the dynamic. I mean, it depends what's going on, on the team side of it with the Winston, but it changes that dynamic a bit. So it's this is an interesting interaction, and you can definitely make a Winston think twice about being Winston or how he chooses to engage with Brig being around, especially with armor, because Winston doesn't do anything to armor. So see, like right there, that Winston didn't do anything. I'm not even really sure why they chose to go Winston there. That's an odd choice. I'm honestly not sure why that enemy tank isn't going back to Roadhog, unless they're just not really a Roadhog player and they were just trying it to make it work. Okay, so alright, so now they're off the Winston, now they're on Zarya. So Zarya is gonna be a little bit of a rougher go of it for you guys if you feed her ult, or not ult, but charge to her gun. And you do have a Junkrat, so that's probably going to happen. I still feel like Zarya is a pretty strong tank for any tank players watching this. Even after the nerf, I still feel like she can be good. It's just now she's not quite as free. Oh, that was a great pick on the Ana there. Let's go back and rewatch that. Yeah, I really like Brig with Kiriko ult. I mean, these insanely fast swings on the mace, it's fun to watch, and you can definitely get a pick with that easily. Oh, that was if you would have landed that whip shot, well, maybe not actually. Okay, he's getting healed by the Moira. I thought you would have picked off that Genji, but he's getting healed. Never mind.
Let me take care of that for you.
That feels much better.
Helping you recover. You'll bucket it.
I hear. What's the rush?
Looking better already.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
I'm under fire. Let me take care of that for you.
That's just embarrassing.
Have fun.
Breaking them down. There's one
Looking better
elimination.
already.
Thanks for the help.
I can protect you. Rally to me.
All right. Let's look at this rally for a second. So your Sojourn is low. Right here, you're in a rough spot because you're frontlining. But you're able to kind of whip shot back, eat some of the laser beam, and you get out. So that was, it worked out. And now, yeah, your team's, are they all here? Yeah, I mean, Junkrat's a little far. Junkrat's not getting it immediately, but he doesn't necessarily need to. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I'm alright with this rally. It forced them to fall back. I don't know why they're still poking at this. Oh, wow. I would not have expected you to have been able to kill that Ana there. Now the question is, are you going to be able to get out? Oh. Yeah, so, alright. Good pick on the Ana, but I don't know if I whip shot there. I'd probably just hold up the shield and see if you can get out. I'm not totally sure if you would have been able to get out though, because your shield was at roughly half health. Soldier probably melts that, but you do have your shield bash, so if you could maybe just turn around and shield bash out, that probably would have actually been the play. Hard to fault you on that, because I'm kind of having to think about it as a backseat gamer. Like, that wasn't my initial thought. I think maybe somebody that plays Brig a lot would have known to just, like, would have had that ingrained in them to do that. I don't think there's anybody out there really, though, that's like just playing Brig a lot. So I kind of get it that you didn't do that. But like after thinking about it but that's what VOD reviewing is. It's an opportunity to learn and kind of think about what you can do in the future. And in that case, once the Ana died, turn around, shield bash out, and get out of there. Because you wouldn't have been able to fight that Sojourn unless you just got right up in their face, started smacking them around, and then they just kind of freak out and their aim goes out the window. But once you start getting into the diamond game area, I don't know how much that actually would happen or not. And then on top of that too, with the way the ranking system in Overwatch 2 Season 2 is right now, just because this is a diamond game, is it actually a diamond game? Are there golds in here? Are there top 500s in here? Who knows? Like, the matchmaking's been so bad this season. Like, just because we know this Brig is a diamond, is currently in diamond, they said, didn't they even say, yeah, they said they were at the bottom tier of Masters last season. So, like, who are all these people in this lobby? Like, what rank are they? Who knows? You know what I mean? It's like, does rank even mean anything right now with the way matchmaking is? I don't know that it does. I mean, it does to some extent, but like, can we make an assumption on all these players being Diamond Masters or something? Like, who knows? Sorry, that's just my little tangent on how bad matchmaking has been this season.
You with me?
Yeah, so little too far forwarded, but get out. You're in a position to be able to get out. I don't think you're going to get too punished here. Yep, good. Perfect. So, like, you ate up all the damage you're basically allowed to eat up, and then you get out and you save your shield. Your shield doesn't break, so it will recharge quickly, and you're sucking up damage that's not going to your teammates. So that, to me, is how to play Brig with a shield in Overwatch 2 right now. I think that's best case scenario. Yeah, you're kind of trapped in this corner right now. Not much you can do other than throw out a few armor packs. You could maybe jump into the tail end of this grav because your shield is back up again, but you gotta wait until like the tail end of it. You've got one armor pack. Give it to Kiriko probably, because I think that Zarya is going to be trying to pick off the Kiriko there. I think that's what she's trying to do. She might need to move to get around the Hammond though. Yep, you gave it to Kiriko. Yeah, wow, Ana is not a hero I would expect Brig to punish, but you're consistently able to do it, and it's kind of funny. Zarya gets you, but the rest of your team gets Zarya. So now they're in a rough spot because they maybe have time for one more push, but the enemy team doesn't really have any kind of mobility going their way, so I'm not sure if they're going to even be able to get back to touch this.
Let me take care of that for you.
I don't think they will. Yeah, so one last point, and this isn't for our Brig player, but if you find yourself on Team 1 situation here, and then you don't have ult charge, why does one of these players not go Lucio to try to speed the team in to attempt one last attempt at this? I don't get that. Like, if you're a support player watching this and you're in Team 1's spot here, go Lucio and give your team a chance. Unless you're just dying to get out of this lobby for some reason. But, you know, if you're tryharding and you're trying to win, I don't know why you wouldn't go Lucio there. And if you're a DPS player watching this, although I don't know why you would be, because I really don't do any VODs for DPS, but this Genji could have, now the Sim TP out of spawn. I don't know. I'm just pointing it out. It's, you know. All right, so let's get to our black screen here. All right, so point one. I'll say frontline. There were times you got a little too aggressive where I would have liked to have seen you playing back a little bit more. So you got to be a little careful on the frontlining. You didn't do it a lot, but you did do it enough to be still noticeable. You definitely could have punished that team a little bit more with slightly better positioning. But I guess I'll just say, you know, kind of the same thing there. But the frontlining got a little aggressive at times. And then number two, I'm going to say overhealth. I think you felt invincible when you had your max overhealth from the Brigitte ult, and it just doesn't make you invincible anymore. So you just got to, you know, taper the expectations of Brig when she's ulting. And I'm trying to think of a third point. I'll say Zen Anna. I feel like you probably could have gotten a little bit more value off of a Zen or an Ana at certain points of this game, but it worked out. You won it, and it didn't feel like you were holding the team back. It didn't feel like you were getting carried in any way. But maybe swapping in and out of Brig to Zen or Ana at particular times, like, I kind of want to say point two of attack. You probably could have benefited from having a Zen there. And then also just point two in general kind of felt like that would have been a good time to just be Zen and then swap back to Brig afterward, or Ana. But I don't know, for some reason Zen is popping into my head here from watching this one. But this VOD review is getting kind of long here, so let's wrap it up with these points. I hope this was helpful, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.